Welcome back to Stan ASMR. Today we have a great video, but today's video is a bit different because it was a requested video. So shout out to William Clark for requesting this video. Other things, I do have a Discord if you'd like to join that. It's in the description below. Other than that, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and a comment below. Alright, let's get started into this video. Okay, just making sure of everything. Alright, we're good. Oh, hi, welcome. Yeah, this is the game store. Yeah. Oh, okay, so you're a friend of Stan's. Yeah. Okay, yeah, he sends people here all the time. Yeah. So, have you been into a game store before? Only a few? Yeah. Well, we're kind of an off-brand of the stop company, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Yep, so Stan brings people in here all the time. He's a great friend of ours, so very family-owned business. Yeah. So, what brings you in here today? Looking for some games? System, maybe? Oh, okay, well, let me ask this. Have you played very many video games? Okay, not too much. Maybe some Fortnite or something? Okay. What do you play Fortnite on? Just your phone? Okay, yeah. Well, we have all kinds of systems and stuff here. If you want to take a look at any or all of them, it does not matter to me. In fact, I can show you around. There's not a lot of customers here. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me just get some things and I'll show them one by one, alright? Okay. Yeah. I'm so glad to hear that you stopped in today, because I had a feeling it was going to be a slow day. Yeah. Alrighty. Okay, I think I have some things together. Now some of the systems I can't directly show you just because they're big and bulky, you know, and I wouldn't want to drop them. Let me take off these headphones. Sounds like we're gonna be here a while. Okay, let's see here. So, what type of games kind of interest you? Do you like some action games? Do you like RPGs? Oh, that's okay. It just means roleplay games. Yeah. Do you like maybe like board game video games? Do you like cooking games? Building games? You don't know yet. Okay. Well, that's okay. So like I said, some of those categories before. Let me think here. What best suits you, if we're not going to go off video games? If you were to relax and play a game, would you go home and sit on the couch and just play a game? Or would you like your own setup where you actually just get in a specific decently comfortable chair and you play for hours on end? And or do you like to play on the road? Okay, yeah, so you do kind of like the road system. Now, some of the road systems actually do have a more home system, so it can be both on the road and off the road. Yeah. But it's not as dedicated. So, what I'm going to start you out with here is just a preview. Now, this is the system itself because it's so small. This is called the Switch. You can see on the back here. This one is actually a used one. It's not for sale because it is actually mine. But this here system has this big front screen, as you can see, with the two side controllers. Yeah, very colorful. You can actually get it in black or gray. I think you can get it in green and like this pink kind of kind of purple. It's more like a pink kind of color. It actually doesn't look too bad. I just don't think I'd personally get that color. But these controllers here, let me just show you. There's a little tab, a little button tab. And these slide right off. See? I'm going to go ahead and take all the controllers off here and put these to the side. So you get this little screen here, and it's a decent sized screen, you know. I mean, it's not bad. It could be maybe a bit bigger, but then they'd have to up the size on the battery and everything else. But it definitely works for what it is. Yeah. If you've ever seen like maybe a 3DS or a DS, maybe some kid playing on the sidewalk or something like that, they're a bit smaller, maybe like this size, except for it kind of folds in the half here, and so it's more of a double screen edition. Yeah. So this one it is a Nintendo machine, which means that Nintendo makes the machine and supplies the games for it. The games are exclusive to Nintendo, which means only this thing can play their games. For the most part, there's not a lot of other platforms that can play Nintendo games that I know of, unless it's some off-brand piece of tech that I really wouldn't know, and those are sometimes wacky. So some of the games, popular games, there's like Mario Kart, Smash Bros, there's Mario Party, of course there's the Mario side-scrolling, okay, so, like, it's kind of hard to reference it, but it's like you're on a 2D plane, okay, and you play as this guy named Mario. He's Italian, he's a plumber, and he's supposed to save a princess named Peach, and she keeps getting captured by a big turtle named Bowser. It happens very frequent, almost abnormally. I wouldn't say it's normal the way that Nintendo is pumping those games out. So yeah, Smash Bros. Yeah, actually, you know what? 1 second. Yeah, it's right here. So Smash Bros. Actually a very interesting game. It's one of my favorites. It is a fighting game, and what you do is, it's not as intense as, like, I would say Injustice or Street Fighter. It is intense, don't get me wrong, but it's more of a PG-friendly game. I mean, it's rated for E, 10 and up, you know, E for everyone. So it's a pretty kid-friendly game. There's no real blood and gore in it, you know. It's pretty friendly. And of course, you have you can see the front cover. That's a lot of the characters, but that's not even all of them. There's even more right here. Yeah. So that's a lot of the characters. So then there's actually a story mode to this version. You can go through the map doing various fights, and you can also do multiplayer mode, which is a more famous mode. There's also online multiplayer, but local multiplayer as well. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't explain what a fight in Smash Bros. Is. Okay, so it's a 2D plane, like I was saying earlier. And you have a character, and depending on how many other players are in, they have their character. And you get a certain set of moves. You get this move set. And every character has a basic move set. So there's, a basic hit, a hard hit, a medium hit. Of course, there's dodge. And then every character has their special move, whether it's a projectile or a combat move. There's all kinds of characters and different special moves. And then there is a special move that every character has that is different from each other. It's called a smash move. And there's this little ball, you can see it right here. Yeah, so that ball kind of just floats around in the air. And your character has to hit it enough to break the ball, and you absorb that energy to be able to use that specialty smash move. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. It could be very competitive if you are competitive. I know I am very competitive, especially with this game. So, yeah. Well, I'm just going to put this to the side, and I'm going to put the Switch back together. Make sure it is still good. Yeah, okay, so that's looking pretty good. Okay, so other systems, you have Xbox and you have PlayStation. You've probably heard of both of those. Yeah. So, doesn't matter which one we start with. Do you have a preference? Okay, PlayStation. Okay, so the system itself isn't as bulky, I don't think, as a Xbox, but I do have to say that PlayStation, it's not my favorite, personally, but not to say that it doesn't work and it's not fun, because it is fun, definitely. Yeah. Okay, so this is the controller. And let me grab the Switch controller here to make kind of a small point. So every console has its differences, as you can tell. So you can see the buttons here. The X, the circle, the triangle, and the square. That is their version of Nintendo's version of the A, the B, the Y, and the X. And so that is the main buttons, you know. And so everyone has their differences, and I can show you on the next system how they're different as well. Of course, you got your normal D-pad. Those buttons are very satisfying to press, even if you're not playing the game. You just like a little thing to do on the side, you know, and you're not even like doing anything. Just press the buttons. You know, they're a lot of fun. And then, of course, you got your little pads here. I always forget the name of these, but they're great. It's for most movement. So you're moving in a game. Let's see here. Okay, so this would be your look around, and this would be your moving up, down, left, and right. But this would be where your head is. You'd be controlling your head with this. So yeah. Then of course there's back buttons and stuff like that. So that's pretty well the controller. I mean, there's start and stop buttons, or technically it'd be start and options, but everyone has their differences on those buttons. Like the Switch has a plus and a minus. So then this has a options and a share button. There's actually a little button in the center here that's for different uses. You can actually preset that, and then of course the power button to either turn the controller on and the system on. I'm not going to press it because it's going to turn any system close to it on. I don't want to do that. So games on this that are specific to PlayStation, a lot of them are actually cross-compatible with like computers and stuff like that. It's definitely not cross-compatible to the Switch or the Xbox, but it is cross-compatible to a computer, so a desktop or a laptop or something like that. Mainly a service called Steam. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So Steam is a separate thing for desktops and computers, and it's its own game library that you purchase games from. It's a very big library, and it's expanding practically every day, almost hourly. And so a lot sports games, except for Nintendo games, of course, are on there. So, like, even Xbox games are on there. Yeah. Only certain ones. It's not every game, because sometimes Xbox would like to stay exclusive to their console, which is kind of makes you buy their console if you want to actually play that game. Yeah. It kind of sucks, but it also is understandable for marketing. Yeah, so games on the PS4, there's going to be a PS5 out, as you've probably seen. If not, I mean, look it up, it's everywhere. So there's Crash Bandicoot. It's kind of specific to that. Crash Bandicoot is this animal. It's a bandicoot. It's a made-up animal, I'm pretty sure. And it does like this little spinning action to be able to attack its foes, which typically is kind of based around the whole Mario kind of thing, where like his girlfriend is taken or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I only played it as like a kid, so I haven't really played it since then. Yeah. But I do have to say I have played Spyro. I'm not sure if Spyro is specific to PS5. I'm not sure on that. But Spyro's a lot of fun. You're this miniature dragon, and you have to go through this pretty big map to get your achievements done. Yeah. Other games, there are. Let me think here. There is a game called Uncharted. That franchise is very popular. I've actually not played it. I was gonna play it, but then I was like, maybe I'll play some Smash Bros. You never know. So Uncharted is, I think it's about like this kid and her father trying to get through maybe an apocalypse. I think it's a survival game. I really don't know. Actually, I've never played it. Maybe check out a trailer online or something. Something like that, yeah. Other games, I think they got Forza, or maybe, I'm trying to think of other games. Well, let's just say I'm not very big on PS5 or PS4 at this point. PlayStation, let's just say that. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to Xbox. I would highly suggest looking up the games, because I could be wrong on some of the storylines. I'm definitely not entirely wrong on Crash Bandicoot, but Uncharted probably, yeah. So then there is Xbox. This is a Xbox One controller. So like I was saying earlier, this has the A, B, X, Y, and you're going, well, wasn't that the same as the Switch? Well, yes and no. See, what they did was a little bit of a switcheroo. You see, they put the Y and the X on the different spots. So this is the Y, this is the X, this is the X, and this is the Y. And they did the same for the A and the B. So they should say a little switch. That's what they did there. Of course, you got your normal D-pad. Of course, they changed it from the PlayStation controller, which used to be up here. Let me show you. So it was up here, and now they turned it down here. And then they kind of gave you your joysticks. That's what I'm going to call it. Your joysticks kind of are diagonal of each other. Yeah. And actually, I find it a bit nice, because instead of having to reach up for your D-pad, you can just reach down quickly, and that's what I've memorized, because I actually played Xbox quite a bit when I was younger. Of course, I have an Xbox now, but I play PC a bit more than Xbox. Of course, you got your home button and your start and select. technically this is still share, and this is like options. Of course, then you got Bluetooth mode, of course. Your Switch controllers don't do that, but your PS4 controller does do a Bluetooth mode. And what that means is you can connect it to like your phone or your computer, no problem, as long as it has Bluetooth. So anything like that, yeah. So Xbox, the Xbox One kind of released a couple years ago. It's probably been about 3, almost 4 years now. I'm not exact on the time, but it's been about there. So they're actually releasing a new Xbox. I don't know the name of it, but it looks pretty cool, you know. So games that are specific to Xbox, I'm very familiar with the games, so I can explain a bit better than PlayStation's. So they have a franchise called Halo. You've probably heard it around. It's pretty popular. So Halo is definitely a fighting game, a RPG, and there's probably a bunch of other terms for it, but it's a fighting game. Not like Smash Bros. Though. So it is a 3D ranged area. It's kind of a very campaign type of a world, but it also, the campaign gives you a lot of free range, so it feels like it's open world, but it's not. You kind of just go from one mission to the next. So you are set, first Halo, you are set as a Spartan, and what a Spartan is a warrior that gets a suit of armor that is very advanced, and it's practically an extra shielding system. And so these aliens called the Covenant technically reign over, it would be called Halo. It's literally a ring in space, and the inside of the ring is a planet. And so it has its own gravity and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. You have to go and fight off aliens for the entire campaign. There is multiplayer, which is highly sought after, especially in the new games, because they kind of took that out. Except for online. Online is the big thing now. Of course, there was multiple games. There was the popular ones like Halo Reach, Halo 4, and then the newest Halo that's about to come out on the new Xbox, which is Halo Infinite. Yeah. So if you're into alien fighting, then that's probably your game. Yeah. Okay, another game on Xbox that is set for Xbox, I would say. I wouldn't say Call of Duty, even though Call of Duty is similar to Halo. It's just different game mechanics. And they also have zombies. So if you're into zombie shooting games, then that's your game. They have a couple other games like trying to think. I'm drawing a blank here. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. I want to say Injustice, but that's not true. That's on PlayStation as well. It's also on PC. Maybe they just have Halo. I kind of doubt it though. They probably have something more than Halo. But yeah, for now, just Halo. Apparently, that's all I can think of. Maybe you can just look that up a bit later if you're interested. Yeah. Okay, so that is the very main consoles so far. Do you have any questions? I know I've just been throwing a whole lot of information at you. Sorry if I'm boring you, by the way. Okay, all good. Alright, that's definitely good to hear. Yeah. So we have one more console. It's not really a console, but it's just a high-powered computer, mainly a desktop. They do make laptops, but a desktop is mainly your powerhouse. Yeah. Would you like to see that? Okay, yeah. So I'm definitely not going to lift a desktop up here to show you on the countertop. But I can show you, of course, how you use a desktop and how different it can be. Of course, you don't just use a desktop for gaming. You can use it for all kinds of different things. I mean, hundreds to millions of things you can do with a computer, not just gaming. But if you get a gaming computer, then for the most part, that's what you're going to be doing. So this is a typical keyboard. You've probably seen one, if not already own one. And of course, you know the normal keyboard. You probably took a class on it. I mean, it's typical. Some gaming keyboards have some RGB lights, which just stand for red, green, and blue. So, yeah. Some desktops and keyboards have particular buttons. Like some of them don't have this side number panel. But some of them also have a specialty key binder on the bottom. You can put your own keys on for like an emoji button or something like that, and you can kind of preset what you want to do here. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I've never actually gotten into those, just because I am not that big a gamer, but I do enjoy a good desktop game. Yeah. So, like I said, I'm gonna set this down here. Like I said, you do use Steam for desktop, and it has a very, very wide variety of games you can play on there, so it's very interesting. Yeah. So this is a normal mouse. It's actually more of a cheaper mouse. This is just one that we use here in the office, so you wouldn't want to buy one like this just because if you were gaming, you can hear that it's just a cheaper thing. Sorry, there was an ad around here. So you can hear it, definitely a cheaper thing. If you press this so many times, the mechanics in here will give out sooner or later, and you wouldn't want a mouse like this. You could probably use it for like a couple months or two, but but it would give out sooner or later, so you wouldn't want something like that. So yeah. Now I do have to say, the difference between a keyboard and a mouse, compared to a controller, is you have to learn the keyboard to be able to play, because if you don't know a keyboard, then you can't get your way around it, and you can't actually play. Sometimes, like I said earlier, I just connect a controller to the computer, and I actually just use the controller for games. Yeah, and that's sometimes a lot easier for particular games. Say like, I wouldn't say Minecraft. You can't do Minecraft with a controller, but maybe like GTA. I mean, it's probably not even that hard to control, but I wish you could hook League of Legends to a controller. That would probably be a bit nicer, even though you can preset all the controls on your keyboard to actually what you want. But yeah, for the most part, that's that. So yeah, it's very interesting. Now, there's a lot more to desktops, which is kind of the cons of getting a desktop, is the fact that sometimes there can just be errors, and because especially if you made your own desktop, then you would have to fix that error. Unlike if maybe you bought it from somewhere, you could probably go have a warranty on it and fix that, which is a lot better. Which is why a lot of people go with consoles, is because they can just send their console in to, Microsoft or Nintendo or Sony and just have it fixed. And of course, there's a lot of repair shops, like ourselves. We do repair some consoles, depending on how badly it is. Because if it's too bad, like someone smashed it with a hammer, we just suggest that they buy a new console, because the warranty on that is, number one, already voided, and clearly someone intentionally hammered it. So, but yeah, that is the controls for a desktop. Of course, there's a lot more, I'd say a lot more money put into a desktop than a normal console, but it can certainly turn around with consoles if you are buying loads and loads of games. But there's definitely more games for a desktop. Let me see here. Let me show you one last thing before I actually have to go and close up the shop. It is about lunchtime. But no worries. Take your time. So the last thing I didn't show you with the Switch, and this right here actually. Okay, yeah. Here we go. Of course, there's attachments for a lot of things, but for the most part, the Switch has the most attachments. And that is this device right here. Yeah. So technically, it's just a plastic mold, and you slide your controllers into it. And you see this little flashing light here. Well, it actually, hold on, it actually isn't even LEDs in there. It is a, if I can show you, oh, right. You can see on the side, well, maybe you can see on the side, you can see these little squares here, possibly, and you can see the squares here, so when I press it, it glows, and so what that is a reflecting, like glass or mirror, and so it just reflects off that LED, which is pretty cool. But for the most part, that's all I have to show you. If you're interested in buying any of these, just let me know. If you want a desktop, we can go through the desktops best for your price range, and depending on what you want to play is how we're going to have to set your specs up. Yeah. Like I said, hopefully I'm not just throwing too much information at you. I kind of just get carried away and get over specific about things, yeah. Okay, no problem. Well, just let me know if you want anything. I do have a little bit of time, but just let me know before I close up. I got about 5-10 minutes. Yeah. Okay, well, just let me know then, and I'll be in the back. Just ring the bell when you need me. Alright, sounds good.